when in the packet when you talked about 10 ways the real estate industry fails sales agent. I wanted to talk about the last point that you made about agents being frustrated, like how they think the only thing that they have to do is get their license and they'll be successful. I want to like just so that I can give this advice to like agents just starting out in this business. What do you recommend? Like everything that they need. Like for example, just like how you touched on, you have people that left a team and they're better, or you have people that went to a team and they're better. I have clients left a team and they just automatically think that just having a conveyancer is going to give them that team feel and that I'm going to be able to supply all of their needs that the team met, and it's not the case. But one thing I do believe that if they know the contracts and if they have a conveyancer, that they're able to be just as successful. What other things do you think they need? Like, do you think they need to hire like what other things that you think is necessary to become a successful agent besides like doing your job, knowing all the contracts, having an assistant to help you? Like, do you think it's anything else that these agents need to obtain
Yes.
to become?
So I'm glad you asked this question because I think a lot of people join teams for the wrong reasons, usually out of fear or frustration. They're solo agents. They realize that there's no continuity in the classes in the office. Maybe they get lonely, right? And a team provides a lot of camaraderie. And the ideal team is like you are flying like a flock of geese, all in the same direction, and you're going faster and farther because you're drafting off of each other.
Okay.
Sometimes the team that you join, all the drafting you need is the leverage. So there's like a platform version of a team, and then there's a like we're going to help you build your business kind of team, and we're working together. We do events together. We do this. We're going to help you build your skills. So on the one hand, the platform gets rid of the pain that you might have as an agent, which is, I don't want to do administrative work. I just want to show houses, list houses, get people under contract, and I want to leverage that piece of my business. So
Right.
at the very least, an agent needs somebody, they need thorough training. They need to work with a conveyancer, whether that's on a team or, somebody like you that they hire separately.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, if they're new, they should also get a productivity coach, at the very least. And I really say a productivity coach and a mentor because back in the day, when we were working, the director of agent services, I asked her, what is the typical number of deals that an agent does when they only have a mentor in a year? And she's like, 2. In order to actually replace a salary, you need to do at least 12 deals at $300,000 each, or at $250,000 each. So basically, you need to do $3 million worth of sales. So one house a month at $250,000. If you want to make 6 figures, at least at the KW model, if you want to do 6 figures at the KW model, you need to do 18 houses at $250,000 each, because now you're starting to earn 100% of your commission. And that gets you from like 55 grand to 100 grand. So if you only have a mentor, their mentors, like people who are still in the business after 2 years, did it because they had a natural ability. But they might not be able to teach you how to have that natural ability or how to harness your natural ability.
Exactly.
They can just show you, this is what I'm good at. Come, shadow me, or I'll look over your contracts. So, or I'm available when you need me if you have to write a contract. That's like their main focus. Mm-hmm. So if you only have a mentor, they're not necessarily driving you and pushing you to get out of your comfort zone and go do open houses every week or get on the phone every week. They're probably not doing everything that they could be doing either. That's why they have time to mentor somebody. Like, I'm not trying to put anybody down. But honestly, like, if we're honest about it, none of us loves lead generation.
Right.
And if we don't do it to the maximum ourselves, how good are we going to be at inspiring others to do it?
Exactly.
So now, if you now on the flip side, if you only have a productivity coach, now you have somebody to say, all right, like, let's go make your calls, let's go do activities, let's script practice. But if you don't know how to do your contracts, like, their job isn't to teach you that. Their job is to like say, okay, here's the calendar for the month. take these classes according to your current needs.
Right.
And they're not there, like they will get sucked into helping you last minute. But that's why there's so much burnout among productivity coaches. So if you only have a mentor, you will never do enough to replace a salary unless you have that natural ability, which only 13% of agents do.
Right.
You know, the failure rate is so high. And if you only have a coach, you still don't have that thorough training.
Right.
Or that person who is supposed to be there for you when you need them. You know, a lot of times agents, when they need help, are in an emergency crisis situation because they didn't have the proper education in advance. You know, they didn't say like, and when I teach agents, I don't expect them to remember everything that I've taught them before they need to use it. What I do expect is that you know that I trained you on all the documents that you need to pass back and forth for an agreement of sale, and say, you know what? I know just enough to know that I don't know everything. Let me go back to Agent University. Let me type in the search bar, exchange of documents, you know, or some keyword that will pull up the information that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Or you hear a client say, you know, I need to sell a property before I buy. And they're like, oh my gosh, there were some forms about that. You know, let me go find those forms. And then you become a lot more self-sufficient.
Yes.
And you don't need to ask the other people in your life so much. You can try to figure it out on your own.
Exactly.
And that's one of the great things about agents. You know, the agent personality, you know, I'm an agent, so I have these flaws as well. On the one hand, we're people pleasers. And on the other hand, we take things really personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the one hand, we're willing to go out and make a fool of ourselves and go get business. You know, on the other hand, we might not pay as much attention to the details.
Right.
You know, so there's all these positives that we have that make us great agents. What you need to do is fill in the gaps of our non-strengths so that we can go do more of what makes us money, you know.
I agree.
Yeah, so you just want to, you know, be able to use, you know, have the training resources at your, you know, available at your fingertip so that, you know, something just pops up in your brain like there was something about deposits. Let me look that up. You know, and my goal is to help agents become as confident and as self-reliant as possible, because a lot of agents are self-motivating.
Right.
And they will learn online, you know, given the opportunity, because a lot of agents can't even, let's say you have the perfect class time frame, your classes in your market center or your office, like chances are you're not going to make it to all of them.
That's true.